Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 19th through the 25th. And during that time, we mostly have a waxing crescent moon, and that's a time of heightened senses, a time for us to, buckle down and make plans and start to work on those things that we've decided to change on the new moon, new projects, that sort of thing. It's just a good time for us to live up to our expectations and our intentions and just buckle down and get to work, right? We then have our first interrupter, and that comes in with the first quarter, and it's on the 24th or 25th, depending on where you are. And it could be a few hours or a day where you just feel impulsive, impatient, your mind is active, you can't get anything done. So, just a resistance to working on those things that we've just started. So make sure, what that is, it's a challenge for us to learn how to be in control and dominate those impulses. But keep that in mind. If you're working on that, do that. If not, maybe just take it easy that day. So keep those moon energies in mind, of course, as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that we may or may not encounter, Capricorn. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is communication is key. Okay, let's see what the Capricorn Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you try to get yourself out into nature. So, if you're an outdoor person, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, get out there, It's a beautiful time of year. I know our weather here, we've had such a long winter, and I'm in the Midwest, so it just feels so good to have a good 80-degree day, get out in the sun. I was out there earlier and it just feels amazing. So try to get out in nature this week. Take a nice walk somewhere. Maybe find a wooded path. Watch the things that are blooming. I like to go out and look at. I'm very aware of the mushrooms that are growing now after watching a certain documentary about those, and it's really amazing and quite fascinating. That's something to do. Get out and look for those. Watch the birds, feed the birds. If you're near water, of course, watching the ocean waves, we're all jealous of you if we don't live on the ocean. So please do that for us. But anyway, try to take some time to get out in nature for a few hours this week. It just feels really good. So, all right, let's get into this reading and I'll stop babbling. Capricorn, April 19th through the 25th. Communication is key. Your present energy. 10 of Swords. So something that you are just done with. Could just be mentally. Swords, of course, is air energy. You could be done talking about it, done thinking about it. When you put I always laugh at my husband because he has this thing and he goes, I'm putting my foot down and he'll pick his foot up very dramatically. It's kind of that thing. You're done. You're putting your foot down. Oh, excuse me. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to think about it. And that's fine. Sometimes those things come up that you're just kind of done with. You might need to communicate that to somebody. Current situation is the Moon card. So there could be something that's out there. This is our card of mystery and things hidden in the night. This could be a dream that you had that makes you decide, yeah, I'm done. We're done. We're done doing this, done talking about it. I'm done thinking about it. It could just be some intuitive thing, that you're just intuitively done with something. So whatever that might be, we'll see as this reading comes out. But that's kind of the current situation, is that you're paying attention to the universe. You're listening to, that inner voice, that inner whisper in there. You're also watching the signs and symbols of the universe and letting that guide you. So that's always a good thing. The root of your situation is the Three of Cups. So maybe some sort of celebration or something that's coming up. I don't know. Let's continue to go. This is a card that's indicative of kind of hanging out with friends and family and celebrating something. So it could have been, maybe something like that happened and it was the catalyst for something that made you done with something, maybe just a conversation where someone changed your perspective on something. So that happens when we're socializing, right? What is just behind you here is the Page of Pentacles. So looks like you were on some sort of new path here. Materially and maybe financially, and maybe it's just something that didn't quite work out. This could be maybe this was a new investment or a new material thing that you wanted and it just hasn't worked out yet. Maybe you've had the thoughts of it, but let's keep going and see. Communication is key is your overall. What is on your mind this week is King of Cups. So You're definitely in control of your emotions and very aware of the emotions of people around you. So this isn't like an emotional thing for you. It's almost very logical, it seems, because you're in control of your emotions. It's not something that's very emotional for you. Um, let's keep going, see what the story is. What is just ahead of you this week is the Eight of Swords here. So this is a card about feeling a little bit stuck, but knowing that you can think your way out of it. Whatever that might be for you, might just need to communicate that. And again, you can think your way out of anything. We're going to keep pulling cards and see if the story starts to become clear. So far, it's not to me. Let's keep going. Sometimes that happens with tarot, right? What is in your advice position here is to kind of wait for things to come to fruition, wait for the harvest. You've planted some sort of seeds in the past that you're kind of waiting on to come. And maybe that's it. Maybe you're just kind of, sometimes tarot shows us kind of an in-between week where there's just not a whole lot going on. There's like little things here and there, but not every week is a major happening, right? Sometimes you just kind of have a week. And this card, anytime this card is in the reading, I kind of think that it's like, you've done some things and some things are coming in, some things are in the works, but it's just kind of a not a lot going on week, and that can be okay too. We do need those sometimes. What is beyond your control this week? Some sort of words exchanged here with the Five of Swords. So I'm going to say, careful with your words. Of course, communication is key with your overall. Be very careful what you said. I mean, these are some hurt feelings. Is this you saying these words, or is this you in the background being affected by words? It could be either. Um, I have a feeling that is you because there's something you're done with, and you might just be communicating some of that to people. Um, for some of you, you already know exactly what I'm talking about, that there's something you're done with. You're letting people know around you. Um, and they may not be too thrilled with how you're thinking about it, but it's your decision, right? What is your secret desire? What are you trying to avoid? Is more debate about it, or you have a secret desire to continue to debate? Now we've got two fives on the table. So both of those are cards of kind of just a difference of opinion, a difference of ideas. I always like to point out in this card that no two people are dressed alike in any way. They all have different footwear, they all have different leg wear, they all have different color. We're all different. Some are wearing hats, some are not wearing hats, some are, that's just the nature of people. And so it is, because of, this is your big question, is do you want to debate this further? Maybe you might have put out a word and said, this is like the final word. Again, I'm done. I'm done talking about it. And that might just be your thing. And so you might be trying to avoid any continued debate over it, or it's your secret desire. Yeah, this is up for debate. So that's a question. There's no right or wrong. It's just how you want to handle that. Um, that's just, you get that option. You get the option to either continue debating and having conversation about it, or you get to say, I'm done. I'm not talking about it. In your outcome position, justice, almost like bam, I hear, when this comes out, the gavel hitting. This is the card of truth. This is equilibrium. This is the card of things being in order. It's also a card of fairness. So it looks like there's justice is about just coming to that final truth. And even if others disagree with you, you get to have your opinion, and that is just bam, what you've decided. So again, is it continued debate? Do you want to continue to debate it, or are you just done like this card? I mean, I think you're done anyway. The question is, will there be continued discussion or not about it? So, the cards aren't really telling me what this might be about. We have every element represented here. So there's conversation about it. So I feel like there's probably other people involved, yes, in the decision. I do think you have the final say in whatever it is. Um, but you're going to know exactly what this is, even though it's even hard for me to see, or even hard for me to come up with a scenario. Let me try to here. Communication is key. Okay. I'm going to say that we're going to use this as a possible, think about this energetically also, that this could template over different things. Let's say that you have a new investment idea, and you're going to go forward, and let's say that maybe you have some friends that are also trying to be on board with this idea. And you have a feeling about it. You have a feeling that, nah, we shouldn't go forward with this. And you make a decision, bam. And you're not emotional about it or anything. You just kind of feel like you're in this position. And now you got to tell your friends and say, look, I know that you guys wanted to move forward with this investment idea. Here's the reasons I think it's a really bad idea. I'm just not, no, I'm just not doing it. You tell these people this, maybe their feelings are a little bit hurt. There's some words exchanged, whatever. That's where this card comes in. You decide to, some people want to maybe try to fight for this idea, and either you're going to allow that and allow that discussion. I think in the end you stick to your decision. um, you might want to hear other opinions or what, or you just may not. So think about that in a situation in your life. Again, I use like kind of an investment as a scenario, but it could template over so many different things. That's the energy. It's like you've made your decision, you're done. And you may not even have a real good explanation. You may have just had a dream that told you, don't do this, just don't do it, or some signs from the universe or something, not even something that's explainable to people. You just have a gut feeling about it. And sometimes we just have to follow those. What's hidden from you this week, Capricorn, is King of Swords, which is about logic. So again, this may not seem logical. That makes perfect sense because of this moon card. You just have a feeling about something when maybe all the logic is saying, yeah, we need to do this thing and pull this money and do da 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 da. You're like, no, I know it's not logical. I know this seems like it's going to be a successful thing, but something is just telling me it is not. So I'm going to say, go ahead and stick to your guns on this one, Capricorn. All right. Let's get a final wrap up card from the Soul Oracle deck. Final words for Capricorn for this reading, which I'm going to say, yeah, stick to your guns. Have faith. Okay, have faith in the thing that you believe for whatever reason. And that's just you listening to your intuition, listening to something. Sometimes we just get that feeling. You're like, I don't think that's a good idea. Can't really explain it. And that's where people would argue, like, what? That's crazy. It seems like a great idea. Anyway, again, I hope that makes sense to you, Capricorn. All right, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care. Self-care for Capricorn, and we're going to pull this card called Energy. Stop trying to please everyone. Everyone is a whole lot of people. Protect your energy. That's these two cards right here. None of us can please everybody. Protect your own energy and stick to your guns. You put the gavel down with that truth, with that truth hammer. I'm not doing it. Quit bothering me about it, right? So, Capricorn, I wish you all the best with this. Again, remember that tarot is a template. A template's over so many different situations that you might have going on. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and give me a little clue. Where did this energy template for you? Don't forget that communication is key. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe really helps me. I'll communicate that to you because that is awesome. So I thank you in advance if you like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. Also, come back next week. You'll be able to find me because you just added me and liked my channel. And come back and we'll see where this energy goes, if this situation continues or if there's something completely new here for you. So thanks so much, Capricorn. Good luck with this, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.